Hi everyone, welcome back to Reader's Workshop. Before we get started, let's make sure we are ready to learn. Have your eyes watching, your ears listening, you're quiet as a mouse, and your body still like a pretzel. So yesterday you learned about everything you can find out by looking at the cover of a book, and here you can see a whole batch of beautiful covers. You learned about that you can find the name of the authors, the people who wrote the book. You can learn the name of the illustrator, the people who are responsible for doing the pictures, and you learned that a book's cover can help you decide if it's a good fit for you. Today, you are going to learn about the parts of a sentence and how to read across the pages of a book. And here you will see I wrote this sentence. Soon you will read on your own. And I've marked up in a couple of places on the sentence to give you a little hint about what you're going to learn that all sentences have. So you can always count on sentences to be the same in certain ways. First, a sentence will always start with an uppercase letter. So here you can see an uppercase F starting this sentence, and here you can see an uppercase J starting this sentence. Uppercase letters are also called, excuse me. Uppercase letters are also called capital letters. So if you hear your teacher saying uppercase, or if you hear your teacher saying capitals, they're talking about the same thing. Here are some other examples. So here you can see this sentence is starting with an uppercase Y, and here this sentence is starting with an uppercase T. So remember, the first letter in every sentence starts with a capital or uppercase. So that's one way. If you are reading a book that has more than one sentence on the page, that's one way to tell you're starting a new sentence, because you can see another uppercase letter. Next, a sentence will always have an end mark. And there are different types of end marks. And the one that you are probably most familiar with is this end mark that looks like a little dot that sits right on the grass line. And that is called a period. So that's the most common type of end mark. And it means that the sentence has stopped. The sentence is over. So here are some other examples of sentences that have a period as an end mark. Here's one right here, and here's another. Every single sentence will always have some type of end mark. So sometimes you might see a different type of end mark. You've probably seen this one. This one is called a question mark. And you've probably seen this one, and this one is called an exclamation point. And they have different jobs, but we're not going to get into that right now. We're going to talk about those later. But if you see them, or you see a period, you know that it's the end of a sentence. All right, look at these. On these two pages, you can see all three types of end marks. So here you see the exclamation point, here you see the question mark, and here you see the period. No matter what you see, it means if you see that end mark, it's at the end of a sentence. All right, and the last thing a sentence will always have is spaces between each word. Okay, so I've highlighted the spaces between these words to show you what it looks like. This one says, the boy is sweet. This one says, I like to eat apples. And this one says, he wants to play. So you always see spaces between each word of a sentence. Look at these crazy sentences. They are quite hard to read because they don't have spaces. Okay, the reason why we use the spaces between words is so that it is easier to read, because these are these exact same sentences, but they look really smushed up and jumbled without the spaces. All right, so let's look at the sentences on this page. Can you find all the parts? So can you find here's a uppercase, here are the spaces, and here's the end mark. Then you go right down to the next sentence. Here again is the uppercase, the spaces between all of the words, and then the end mark, the period. Wow, look at all these sentences. So this is a very complex book, and it has quite a few. So here, what you would do on a page like this is you'd read all the sentences on this page first, go down to the next, go down to the next, go down to the next. And if you don't see any other sentences down below, then your next job is to go up to the top of the next page. And you can read the sentences on this page. So remember, a sentence will always start with an uppercase letter or capital, end with an end mark, and have spaces between the words. So now it's time for you to practice independent reading. Can you find all the parts of a sentence and read across the pages in your books? I bet you can. So whether you're at school or home, take your book box, try reading quietly on your own for at least 8 minutes today. Okay, 8 minutes. So while you're doing that, remember to show reader respect. And you can find the parts of a sentences just like we do. See you later.